topic of Myles Garrett and his uncertain future with the Cleveland Browns, as discussed on the Eisen show, raises compelling questions about team dynamics, player loyalty, and the complexities of NFL management. From an American perspective, this debate not only highlights the ever-present business side of football but also reflects the delicate balance between player performance and organizational decisions. To start, Myles Garrett is one of the NFL's most dominant defensive players. At 29, he's still at the peak of his abilities, with a limited window to maintain that level. Garrett, having been a cornerstone of the Browns' defense, faces a frustrating scenario. The uncertainty surrounding the team's direction, particularly at quarterback, and the lack of a clear winning trajectory. The frustration stems from years of unmet potential, despite individual success on Garrett's part. He's experienced firsthand the disappointment of seeing a talented roster fall short, especially in a franchise that has often been mired in mediocrity. Eisen's commentary, along with the playful banter about Coach Kevin Stefanski's media responses, taps into a deeper reality for Cleveland fans and sports followers alike. Stefanski's public assurances about Garrett's future with the team are understandable, but they seem more like an obligatory attempt to calm waters rather than a definitive statement. Behind the scenes, it's clear Stefanski has limited control over the bigger decisions, such as trading a star player, especially in a franchise where the general manager and front office hold the power. The Browns' mixed signals, asserting they have no plans to trade Garrett while still leaving the door open, suggest internal uncertainty. This situation is further complicated by the Browns' cap space issues, Deshaun Watson's struggles, and the looming prospect of a potential rebuild. Garrett's attendance at a Lakers game, as noted humorously in the show, contrasts with the serious undertone of his dissatisfaction. For a player of his caliber, the idea of wasting his prime years on a team that can't guarantee competitiveness is understandably frustrating. While Garrett hasn't explicitly voiced trade demands, the what-if scenario hangs heavily. Should the Browns fail to show meaningful progress in building around him or addressing key weaknesses, including quarterback play, it could lead to more public expressions of frustration from Garrett. Moreover, the Browns' position in the upcoming draft and their future roster decisions heavily influence Garrett's situation. Eisen and his team draw attention to the team's choices at quarterback, with names like Shader Sanders and Cam Ward being mentioned as potential future options. However, these young prospects are far from proven NFL commodities, and it's unclear how much time Garrett is willing to wait for another rebuilding phase, especially when he's in his prime and hungers for postseason success. The contrast between Garrett and players who have found success, like those he interacted with at the Pro Bowl, may be an additional source of frustration. Looking at the bigger picture, this situation with Garrett is a microcosm of the challenges many NFL teams face when dealing with elite talent. Players like Garrett, who have given their all to a team, often reach a breaking point when they see the team's trajectory veering off course. The Browns, already under pressure after years of inconsistent results and questionable management decisions, face the prospect of losing their best player if they don't act decisively. For Garrett, it's not just about money or contracts, it's about winning, and the Browns must convince him they are still the team that can deliver on that front. From a fan's perspective, the potential loss of Garrett would be devastating. He represents not just a top-tier talent, but also hope for a team that has struggled to find its identity. Trading him would signal a step back in competitiveness and likely incite backlash from the Browns' faithful, who have already endured years of instability. Ultimately, the Eisen discussion underscores how the Browns are in a precarious position. They must carefully navigate Garrett's growing impatience while also working to rebuild a team that can contend in the ever-competitive AFC. Whether they can manage this balancing act remains to be seen, but one thing is clear: Garrett's presence or absence will define the Browns' near future. As Eisen pointed out, there's no easy fix here, and Cleveland is faced with tough decisions that could reshape the franchise's trajectory for years to come.